What up, y'all? Got a conversation of epic proportions about to go down in a minute here. I got my uncles coming through. Let me pass this live around to some heads, though. Let me share this with some cool people. Pass this around to a couple dope people. Up in here, Black C, Joe Fresco are coming through. I was like, do I want to make it a surprise? Nah, it ain't no surprise. We got a flyer and everything. Pass this around to some dope people. As you guys come in, man, hit me with some palm tree emojis. About to do this up something proper. Pass this around to some cool peeps. The homies might already be in here. There we go. Red in the building. What's happening, man? Let me see if these boys is in here. What up, Dragon Knight? Get my guys Black C and Joe Fresco on. In the meantime, I don't own this music, but we got to play. We got to play a little something off that Ruthless. There we go. Oh yeah, Red DM me, man. Alien Matt Kitty, what's going on?
Hey, what's
There's my
happening,
man Joe
man?
Fresco.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening?
Yay area. How you feeling, bro?
Man, just trying to make it do what it
There you
do.
go. That's all you can do, man. Got to get the other half of the duo up in here. Let me get Black C up in here. So I hit invite. Wait for my man Black C to come on in here. Black C, what it do, Unc?
What's up with you?
Black,
How you feeling,
why
man?
you got the meme? Why you got the meme mug on, Black?
Uh,
Oh, you got the mug on. The nigga came in there serious. What's up with
Motherfucker, man, it's traffic for fucking 2 hours, mad as hell.
it?
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all being patient with a nigga. You know, I had to whoop some vittles down before we started. You know, I can't interview no legend on no empty stomach.
It's all good.
All gravy, man. So I thought to myself earlier this afternoon, I'm like, Black C done sat down with DJ Vlad. How am I going to outdo one of the best? All right.
Hey, man, just do you. Don't even worry about what he did. That's all. Let it flow
Let it flow. Let it flow. All right.
organically.
Organically.
Yeah.
So, Fresco, I feel like my man DJ Manifest up there in Canada brought us together because when he had All Hail YT and Anthony Danza on that project, that's how I first got exposed to you. And so, man, can you, first of all, today is 9/11.
Yeah,
Let's talk
yeah.
about, it's the 23rd anniversary of that. Can you guys tell me where you were back in 2001 when 9/11 happened?
Go
Uh,
ahead, Black.
Go ahead, Black Sea. Let's start with you.
Um, I was sitting in the house watching TV and kind of watched it happen on TV. I was chilling at the house. Yeah, that
Okay.
was, I mean, just kind of seen everything happen live like everybody else through through the news.
Do you feel like, being from the West Coast, did you feel like as a nation we kind of came together, or did you feel like, oh no, that's in New York, I can't relate to that, or is it just a struggle worldwide? How do you feel about that,
Um,
Black Sea?
yeah, I think it brought us together. You know, we definitely felt for him. It don't matter if he was on the East Coast, West Coast, down South. You felt that, especially watching it happen
Right.
and knowing live human beings was in them buildings. You know what I mean? They probably was burning alive or suffocating or whatever, you know what I mean? So it definitely brought us together. We all felt their pain. It didn't matter if he was, east, west, black, white, all that didn't even matter when it came to that, man. You know what I mean? A terrorist threat to the United States is a terrorist threat, man. It don't even matter. You're gonna feel it because everybody in some way probably related to somebody that was up in them buildings, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
Mm,
yeah, we felt that for sure.
good point. Joe Fresco, man, where were you when that happened?
I was still living with my mom's, man. I was sitting on the couch calling my niggas like, "Are you seeing this shit?" Like
Yeah.
I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, "This has got to be a joke." and in the news, and you just seeing the buildings on fire, and they talk about people jumped out of the buildings, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was. I never seen no shit like that before. Not. I mean, not in real life. Like you seen something like that in the movies, but not in real life. No.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I was young as hell. I was, only in like third grade at the time. And I just remember waking up that morning and my mom was crying in tears because we have family in New York City. And she was just like,
Wow.
"Do you know what a terrorist is?" And I had never heard the word terrorist before that. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember the shit was on every channel. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
Everywhere.
Nickelodeon was playing it. Like dead ass
Right.
yeah.
every channel. Yeah,
Right.
so it hurt. What the election this November. I know our nation is kind of iffy on different things. I know we might bounce one way because us being Californians, southern and northern, we is blue
Mm-hmm.
team out here overall. Let me ask you this: Did you fellas catch any of the debate last night?
Yeah, I did.
Black
Yeah, I
C,
watched some
what
of
are your
it.
what were your thoughts, man?
Uh, I think Kamala killed it. I think she was kind of exposing Donald Trump. He was looking a little frustrated. I seen a lot of people getting up today saying it was pretty much like a two against one. The moderator or whatever was like on her side, but I don't think that's the case. I just think Donald Trump sometimes just be saying, weird shit, and they just, and they calling him on it. That's all.
Right,
She wasn't, you know what I mean? So, and you can't call her on, yeah, right now she a vice president, but she ain't calling no shots. She just a vice president. She got to support whatever Biden is putting out there. Whatever he pushing, whatever agenda he pushing, she just got to support it. She really can't call no shots on nothing. It's gonna be her shift if she win. You know what I mean? So in November, so. I think she looked it good because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't care for neither one of them. I was just like, man, I'm not even voting, and I usually vote Democrat. Now I'm not even I don't even call myself a Democrat no more. I'm just more like an independent. It's like
I'm independent too. Yeah, I'm independent.
whoever kind of, and that was just off of this last run with Biden. Like
right.
with Obama, I was straight, I always voted Democrat, always checked the box. I'm a Democrat. And that's just because, when you just raised in the hood or whatever, it's kind of like you grow up like that. You kind of, my grandma, my mom, all them just always voted Democrat. So it just kind of got handed down to me. But it changed when Biden got in there and just a lot of goofy shit was going on. It just seemed like this. I don't know. He was just absent. Just his whole term. I don't know, man. It's like he was a walking zombie, just a fucking carcass of some shit, just walking around. He wasn't doing nothing, man. They talking about he had body doubles. Now I'm starting to believe this shit. You know what I mean? A lot of a lot of the pictures they show, he looked short on this one, and on this one he a little taller, and he a little. Man, I don't know, bro. This shit is just crazy. So right now I'm independent, and I'm leaning more towards her now, even though I really didn't care for her because when she was a DA out here, a lot of people, who she prosecuted and all that, friends I know,
Yeah, I
and
was
I
wondering
just was
about that. If
like, but I mean, you got to pick the best out of both evils. You know what I mean? So it's just like right now she kind of got me. She kind of got me right now. I'm kind of feeling her, and I don't care
right.
about if she black, if she really white, she this, all that shit don't matter to me. To be honest with you, to me, she looked black in the motherfucker. So I don't know. Her swag is kind of black. So she looked like a sister to me. So all that, Indian and yeah, her daddy Jamaican, but she probably not. I don't care about none of that
I
shit.
feel like people who are going to question Kamala's ethnic background are people who really don't understand the fabric of America. People who
Exactly.
don't understand, the one drop thing. If you one drop of black, you are black.
You're black.
People who
Exactly.
don't know the history that she graduated from Howard University, one of the top
Right.
HBCUs in the country. The fact that she's part of the one of the first black women owned, black women started sororities, Alpha Kappa Alpha. So, but I was kind of wanting to know you guys' thoughts as Bay Area natives about her. That she comes from Oakland, California too. So being that Joe Fresco, you're out of San Jose, Black C, you out of Hunters Point, San Francisco. You Black C mentioned that some of your partners have done time or possibly locked up today. At
Mhm.
her hand as a prosecutor. Is do you believe that you could hold her accountable if she wins this November? Joe, let's start with you.
Um, I, I, I hate to sound like I'm echoing Black, but I agree with him 1000%. Like I think when you are African American, you coming up middle to low class, like it's just tradition to be a Democrat. And so I've always voted Democrat. Like I said, like Black C said until this election, like I think this presidency, Joe Biden and Kamala has been the most quietest presidency I've
Right.
ever seen. I don't
You're
know
right.
what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they've done. Like it's just been quiet. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I was like, I was like, damn, am I leaning towards, going red? But I didn't watch the debate, but from what I'm hearing, like Kamala washed Trump, like she washed him. And so I was just talking to my boy, I was like, I'm just gonna sit back and see what they do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's gonna be held to the fire. Like if Donald Trump was to win, he's gonna be held to the fire. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna sit back and peep game. But if she wins, yeah, we holding her to the fire. Like, okay, you in here now? Show us. The talking time is over. Show us what you're gonna do for us.
And I think when it comes
Exactly.
to like her prosecuting people who are in jail behind something as like frivolous as weed,
I've heard the
we gonna get to
horror
don't give me that
stories.
Bama
Yeah.
weed, but
Right.
as let's hold her accountable. Can we legalize it in all the states? Can everybody who's in
Right.
jail behind pot be pardoned? So that's what some of the things that I want to see. But I want to back up off the politics and really talk about how the genesis of how y'all two brothers first met. Black C, go ahead and break it down for me.
From what I can remember, Joe just kind of reached out, online, Instagram, you know what I mean? And it kind of started from there and blossomed from there. It was just one of them things where he kind of got at me and asked me to do a feature with him. And we connected that way. And from there, I took a liking to him and we just connected and got together, shot the video for the song that we did, and one thing led to another. I came up there with a couple dudes. He had a couple of his dudes, and we laughed and kicked it, and it just kind of hit off, and we ain't stopped kind of fucking with each other since then. He
There we go. What year
was
was
easy to work
that?
with.
Yeah, Joe is
Um,
very easy to work with. I find the
yeah,
back and
yeah.
forth is very
I
down to
don't know
earth.
if it was 2020, 20. I don't know, somewhere around there, I believe. Well, I don't know. Joe, you remember?
Um, So it was actually okay. So I hit you from my now gone other channel. Other page. I had hit you a couple about a year before that. And I was like, hey man, I just want to let you know, man, you was a big inspiration to me, man, and I love RBL. You was like, yeah, for sure, man, buy my album.
Right,
That's
right.
somebody from the Bay for you, man. Gotta hustle. Gotta keep it
And
off the
so
truck for sure.
he said, good looking, go get that new album. And I was like, okay, for sure, man. And so what happened was I mentioned them. I mentioned RBL Posse in a song I have called KBLX Nights, and I put it on my story, and I tagged him. And then like he hit me, and he was like, that was dope. You shouting this out, and I was like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? And then like what happened was I came across a sample. Remember that San Francisco that one, and then
Right.
I put it back on my story, and I tagged him again. I was like, man, that Black C was sound dope on this. And then he hit me back. He was like, man, that shit is clean. And I was like, hey, do you want me like to have some of my cats fuck with it for you? And he was like, well, shit, see what you could do. And then I just started. I made like a contest because I was like, this is my chance to open up the bridge of communication with him. So I was like, okay, who wants to do a song for Black C? And I put it on my story, and so a couple of niggas hit me back, and so I just started sending to Black C like, yo, what you think about this one? He was like, ah, cool, I like this one. But that's how the lines of communication opened. And then I was like, hey, I got this song with DJ Fresh. I think you sound dope on it. And he was like, send it to me. He liked it. We shot the video, like I said, like it was really organic. We just fucking hit it clean, smooth off.
Hmm.
So
There you
from
go.
Yeah.
that video.
Shout out to DJ Fresh too. I love DJ Fresh. One of my favorite verses of yours, Black C, is work with Larry June. DJ
For
Yeah.
Fresh produced
sure.
that track
Hard.
too.
Organic work.
Organic
Yeah.
Yeah.
work, yeah.
Hard.
I put in
Hard.
that work.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
want to ask about the legacy of RBL. You being the only surviving member. Ruthless by Law.
Hmm.
On your first album, there was some samples from NWA on a lesson to be learned.
Hmm.
And did you guys ever get compared to NWA early on, saying like, "Oh, they're kind of like the Bay Area's response to NWA"? And then with the Ruthless
Um,
title, have you ever had the opportunity to rub shoulders with Eazy?
oh yeah, yeah. We went on Easy radio show. He was working at I think it was 92 point something. I forgot the beat or whatever. So I forgot the LA station that
Ninety-two
was
point
down
three
there.
to beat.
Yeah, he was
Crazy.
down. He had his
Hey,
own segment down
wow.
there. Yeah, his own
I didn't know
little
that.
hour or
Crazy
something. And he done
story.
something.
In 2017, guess whose pops used to work there as the
Oh,
Oh,
program
what?
director?
is that right?
Legendary.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
God rest his
yeah,
soul too.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. So,
And 20.
yeah,
Yeah, 2007. My bad.
we was definitely trying to be NWA. So if they would have said anything, we never really heard it. People never really said nothing about it. They was, later on, or as we start moving around, we start hearing people saying like, "Bro, y'all like the equivalent to NWA up in the Bay." We
Yeah.
started hearing it, and we took it as a compliment. We didn't take it as like we was being copycats and anything because it was just me and Mr. C. You know what I mean?
Right.
They had a crew of people. It was Ren and Yella, and we didn't have no DJ. DJ Switch scratched on a couple of our songs and stuff throughout the album, really, but he wasn't part of the crew. It was just me and Mr. C, and at the cover. That's exactly what I was trying to be like was NWA. That's why I had my guys come and stand in so we can actually be a posse because it was really only me and Mr. C. It was called Ruthless by Law. When we took the picture, that's when I started like kind of like, man, you know what? I'm gonna name the group RBL Posse. It's a little shorter than just spelling out Ruthless by Law. But the Ruthless come from NWA.
Very
The
dope.
whole RBL using the three letters come from NWA, all that. They was like the Godfather group to us. Also we influenced by, IMP, of course, and 415. Mainly NWA and 415 and IMP, them three heavy influence on RBO Posse, you know what I mean? So, but nah, we never took it as disrespect. We love it. We appreciate it. And when we got a chance to finally meet Easy, he was the first one we actually got to meet when he invited us down to the show. We did a tour down there. He got us on the show, and man, he welcomed us with open arms, man. It was love, and it was probably a year or two before he died. Maybe a
Wow.
year and a half
Damn.
before he died. Like, yeah, we got on his show. And
Damn.
Very dope.
nothing but love, man. The interview was fun. We kicked it right before we went in. Man, he was a different person in person, man. Way different than I thought, man. Real humble, cool ass dude.
I could
That's
You know
probably
what I
see why
mean?
both
dope.
of y'all got along because you guys are both Virgos.
Right, right. And I didn't know that
Yeah,
at the time either, but that makes sense. You know
does
what I
make sense.
mean? Real cool dude, man.
Okay.
Real cool dude.
Most definitely. Now, back in the 90s, when it comes to the Bay Area hip hop scene, a lot of other cats were moving and grooving up there as well, like Hieroglyphics. Some of the members of Living Legends were starting to pop off. I want to
Hmm.
know, were there like what resources did RBL take advantage of, to perform and to network with other artists and to get, other cats on your songs or get, different resources? Like what type of meetups and stuff did you guys do back then?
Um, well, we didn't really care about doing songs with nobody. When Mr. C was around, he didn't really care about it. I didn't I never thought about it either. We back then were just like, if you're a group, you just do make music. People within our circle we wanted to get on, sort of like how we kind of like landed, Totally Insane getting on our album. They was part of the family. They was in TC Garage with us, so that just kind of happened naturally. But we didn't never want to like let's do a song with Too Short or try to get E40 and them on. We never even thought about it. We just wanted to make music for ourselves. We didn't
There you
care
go.
about a feature at the time. But back then, the resource we did have was Jason Blaine at the Music People. He used to do this yearly barbecue, at In a Minute Record at the Music People, where we got a chance to meet LL and a lot of people. Like a lot of people used to come out there. It was sort of like a music sort of convention,
Very
and
dope. And
also the
the
Gavin was
Gavin,
another thing.
the
Yeah, they
Gavin
had used to
magazine.
have in San
Yeah.
Francisco. In San
Shout out to the
Francisco, they used
Gavin.
to
My
do it every
my
year.
pops worked for them back in the day too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's dope.
so yeah, we had that type of stuff popping off to where it was like right at home base. So, we was able to experience a lot of that, you know what I mean? And that was pretty much it besides just getting out there and just, in a minute putting us on the road. with Scotty from Southern California. Shout out to OG Scotty, man, who took us around and really laid the ground for us down there in LA. And to this day, that's why we benefit from him bringing us out there. We got a rich fan base down in Southern California. You know, we really get major love down there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, you
Yeah.
definitely do. Y'all loonies, I see you guys on different shows like all the time.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
definitely California love is felt like up and down for
For
sure.
sure.
So, due to street activity in Hunters Point, that's what sadly claimed the lives of Mr. C and Hitman. But I want to talk about the Bay Area's climate, prior to like the crack epidemic and the streets taking over. Did you kind of witness a transformation of like, the Black Panther era, where there was more unity amongst the black community to more division and more tension amongst neighborhoods?
Yeah, I was a part of it. Yeah, right, I say around in the 80s, early, late 70s through the 80s, it was all love. Like you say, like they say, it takes a village to raise a kid, raise a
Right, raise a
family, and all, it was
child.
all that. We had that. The boys club. We had the gym. We running up and down the block, riding down on skates, with the stick in them, making coasters and, having fun around there. I mean, it was love, you know what I mean? The worst you probably saw is people outside maybe selling a little cokes and pills like volumes and stuff like that. And it wasn't really bad. It wasn't no serious junkies, you know what I mean? You probably had a few people who was probably speedballing or something, but that wasn't even that bad, where they was shooting needles up a little bit or whatnot. But when the crack hit, like 86, I guess around San Francisco, I remember it hitting, it just got crazy. And that's when, people started being able to buy ammunition and buy guns and, that's when I got in the game and all of a sudden, my generation, I would say people like in my age group, pretty much who started buying heavy artillery, it went from fighting, having fist fights after school to where now you pulling out a pistol. Once that pistol come out and somebody gets shot, and then all of a sudden they want to retaliate, and that's kind of where it started. And I say a big part of that too was us watching Colors and shit.
Yeah, you
Like we got
Mm.
mentioned colors in the
influenced
Vlad
by
interview.
Colors. Yeah,
Right.
we watched the Colors had us like all fucked up, like because we already was tripping with each other. Like we'll be tripping with Sunnydale, we'll be tripping with Phil Mo, but we was fighting. They'll catch us down there at the fun center or somewhere, and might jump us. We catch them somewhere, beat them up. It was fights. But once that crack hit and we started getting that money and we start having guns and then we start watching that Colors and it just mentally, we wanted to be like that, and that's when it just kind of set it off. Now people jumping out with 12 gauges and going to big five
Yeah.
behind, getting your ammo and yes, it was on from then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So and
So
then
as a
all of
teen, you kind of go from yeah, you might see a little something dangerous, but you don't fear for your
right,
life.
right,
Then it goes to you at that coming of age thing. You're like, oh my god, now I gotta go get strapped just to survive
yeah,
out here,
exactly. They
right?
jumped out on me with a pistol. Now I don't want to be slipping next time. Now let me go get one.
In Black Sea,
You know what I mean? Or you probably already had it, but we wasn't pulling them out though. You had it because you was buying them off of dope fiends that come through. They selling stuff. They'll sell a gun. You were having and put it up, and and you feeling untouchable. You get your first gun, you really feel like you the shit. Like you can't nobody fuck with you. And then once you run into that first problem, and once it come out, once you whip out, it's over with. You know what I mean? Now it's problems. Now they want to retaliate or you want to retaliate. So yeah, that's how it went.
now, one thing I do admire, and it almost leaves me a bit speechless, Black Sea, is how when you got shot and you had to get a prosthetic eye, it seemed like you
Hmm.
took it in stride. Like, think about it. Your life was changed forever as a
Hmm.
teen, as a,
Right,
not even a legal adult yet.
right.
Talk about everyday life for you. How was that transition to using a prosthetic eye? And then I just was so impressed with how cool you was about knowing the person who shot you, and then be like, "Hey, he a junkie. Just let him be."
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, it fucked with me, but at the same time, I was still living. We had lost a lot of people at the time. You know what I mean? My boy, we had lost Chief Charlie, Ray Sean and them, man. We had lost my boy Ralph. There's a lot of people who died So me losing the eye, that was lightweight. You know, I still had one. You know what I mean? When like I was blind totally, so it didn't really bother me, and it was just one of them things where it's like it's a price you pay when you out there in the streets. So it didn't bother me none. You know what I mean? And by the time I did catch up to dude, I was just on a whole, I was just living different. I was on a whole nother page. I had my daughter by then. You know, my daughter slowed me down a lot when I first had it. Thank God I had a girl first, because if I'd have had a little boy, I'd have probably been, it'd have been different. Because, you know, raising a little boy, that's, you know, especially if it's your first kid coming from where I'm come from, you damn near raise your little boys like a pit bull. You want them like you. You want
Yeah,
them tough. So, you know, it's different. My daughter softened me up a little bit, and it was just like, man, I got something like to live for now. You know, it's a little bit different. I got a career. This music is popping off. So it'd have been stupid to just take advantage of him when he, you know, he had his weakest point in life. So, you know, I was like, man, I'm gonna let him live. It ain't even worth it at this point to even do nothing to old boy. You know what I mean? Even though I seen him with the gun shooting. You know, I look right into it, you know. So but it's crazy as all of us like all that day, people on both sides, we all cool as fuck right now. Like some of them was like
really.
my best friends and people who I run into and we hug and embrace each other like heavily, yeah, from like L Cheddar LC and them from Sunnydale,
So
Harry O. A lot of them dudes, man, them like my homies, Bill from all of them,
so
Troy
niggas who
P, a
was
lot of these
shooting at you
dudes.
30 years ago is the homies now. You would give
Hell
them a
yeah.
hug now. It was
Hell
a
yeah.
bullet 30 years ago,
I
but you would give
trust
them a
them
hug today.
more. I trust them more than some of the dudes I grew up with, who I was actually on my neighborhood with, who I fell out with, who betrayed me with Mr. C.
Really.
I trust them way more than I trust them, and I actually grew up with a lot of them
That's
from knee
incredible.
high. You know what I mean? And it's just that, but that type of betrayal was just different. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't grow up with them like that, and they wasn't eating out my house. You know, so when somebody who was you was sleeping and eating with betray you and backdoor you on some shit, you take that a little bit different than, you know, when I was funking with some, you know, we protected neighborhoods and ride for the block. So once you wake up, it's like, man, come on. Let me get to know this person now. And once you get to know him, you're like, man, this dude cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? If I'd have met him a long time, you know, tell him what we did together. You know, got into business and made a lot of money together. You know what I mean? These is really cool dudes. We were just getting at them because they're from a whole nother neighborhood. But once you get to know them, get to know the person, man, some of them dudes is like, man, I love them dudes. They cool as hell.
Joe,
Cool as hell.
I want to ask about your upbringing, your childhood. I know very little about San Jose, to be honest with you. You know, you're one of three rappers I know from up there. There's you, there's Dirtbag Dan, the battle rapper, and then you
Yep.
got my man Antoine. So break it on down to me, man. San Jose, back in the time of your upbringing, what was young Joe Fresco like as a kid?
San Jose was different because, San Jose was at the bottom of the bay. And so when I was coming up, some shit went down at a Juneteenth, and Palo Alto in San Jose was funking heavy for a minute. I remember like going to skating rinks, and I was at the time I was probably like 12, and niggas from Palo Alto, who fuck from San Jose, who from San Jose, you know what I'm saying, all that type of shit. So
Covering up the shark hoodie.
well, I was a
Yeah.
kid, these niggas was grown ass niggas. I was a young cat just trying to skate. Who the fuck from San Jose? So like San Jose and Palo Alto was going through it a lot at that time. And San Jose, we had our own funk. I'm from the east side. We didn't like when I was coming up. San Jose and east side and south side didn't get along.
Oh, that reminds me. One more rapper I know from San Jose, because you say East Side Lucy Camp, because she
Okay,
shouts out East Side San Jose on her in her
yeah,
songs too.
definitely.
All right, but go on.
Yeah, yeah. So when we was coming up, we had our own inner city turmoil, but we was more trying to fight for our respect because back then in the '90s, a lot of the artists from from Frisco, from Oakland, from Vallejo, they used to always come to San Jose. That's where they did a lot of their shows at,
Yeah,
and so they would always bring crowds with them. You know what I'm saying? Like if not RBL, but I would say, like definitely like JT was always out there,
JT the
the
bigger
bigger figure.
figure,
Keek was always out
Keep the
there,
sneak.
and so when they would come, they would bring a mob with them, and niggas would just, what I'm saying, niggas felt a certain type of way about San Jose back in the '90s, so niggas was always like, man, what these sound niggas, these niggas don't want no problem. So San Jose was always on our motherfucking heels as far as like, man, we can't let these out of town niggas just come treat us like this, because they tried it. Like niggas from out of town would try to come take over the dope spots in downtown San Jose. Like I didn't serve dope. I tried it, but it wasn't for me. But my partners who I came up with served dope, and they would always say, man, we had to get it to some niggas from woo woo woo, because these niggas out there came 5 deep, talking about we taking over the turf and woo woo woo. Like, so San Jose was, when I was coming up, San Jose is a very different San Jose than it is now. There was a lot more black people in San
Yeah,
Jose when I was coming up.
I was wondering about the
And
ethnic makeup of San Jose.
yeah, there was way, way, way more black people when I was coming up. And we was trying to fight for our respect, because a lot, in a sense, we wasn't really respected like that back in the 90s. Like niggas just seen San Jose as something else. We was too far from the nucleus of the Bay, which was Oakland, Frisco, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
Richmond and shit. We was too far. So a lot of niggas from San Jose had their own thing, like that was different than the nucleus. You had niggas who, I would say like me, who I kind of gravitated more towards the Bay way, because the San Jose way was more of a gang banging way, and I didn't bang. You know what I'm saying? So I was more of like a player, like, where the hoes at, and what I'm saying, I wanted to get an old school and put it on gold things, and wear Figaro, herringbones and shit like that, where San Jose niggas was more from the pen perspective. The San Jose niggas was more, they had an LA vibe about them. Them niggas wore
Hmm.
chucks, they gang bang, mostly Crip. There were some Bloods, but mostly San Jose niggas gang bang Crip, and they had a totally different vibe. Where me, I'm listening to RBL, I'm listening to E40, I'm listening to Too Short, and they're talking that bass shit, like, what I'm saying, we on these hoes, we macking, woo woo woo, where the San Jose cats was kind of more on a, I don't know if I want to say like an X-rated, like a they was more on just a gangbang tip. You know what I'm saying? Like that was their vibe back then. So it was a weird time in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we had our own funk just throughout the city, but also we was trying to get respected, you know what I'm saying? Because we had a lot of college parties, a lot of rappers came out there, and like I said, when other niggas came out there in the 90s, they would try to disrespect, like, man, fuck sounds like them niggas ain't gonna do shit, these squares niggas, woo, woo. So we was trying to get our respect back then. So it
So,
was it was a
j-
weird time.
let me ask you this, Joe. How'd you do in school? Did you graduate? Did you go to college after that? How was that part of your life?
Yeah, so basically, my senior year, I was down 140 credits. I had a baby when I was 17. And so, by the grace of God, my mom staying on me, and I had to do homeschooling. I ended up graduating. I wanted to go to college because a couple of my friends did, but I had a baby and I was rapping and shit. So, later on in life, in my shit, about 20 years later, I ended up getting my AA, but I never got my BA. But yeah, I was trying to be I was really trying to be a rapper in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like I was recording on 4 tracks, and that was my thing. I was really trying to rap. You know?
Okay, okay, word. Black C, talking about origins again. I think it's so dope that Larry June Senior, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how. So you've seen the Larry June who we know today, growing up.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's the same age as my daughter.
So he's really
We both had
like a
our kids.
nephew to you, yeah, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. His daddy, me, we've been knowing each other since we was like could come outside walking and playing. We was in the park in the projects, 2 years old, bumping into each other, hanging out, and been hanging out ever since. He one of my best friends to this day. That's like family. His family is like my family. Like Herm Lewis is his real cousin.
Right.
Herm
I didn't know
Lewis,
that.
cuz all they sisters, they whole
Yeah.
family. My family grew up like intermingling with their family. Them my real family right there, And same way with Booby, who I fell out with, who actually, created Big Block or whatever. All of us was like real tight. We was all in that parking lot in the park hanging out. We all grew up together since babies. All our mamas went to middle school and high school together and grew up. And we kind of grew up thinking we was real cousins, but they was like play sisters hanging out.
There
You know what I
You
mean?
go.
So,
I love how you talked about having play cousins on the Vlad interview, because I don't
right,
think people realize how important and integral play cousins are to the black community.
right,
Like when you talk about it takes a village, like it
Nigga,
really
exactly.
does.
we just lost our play uncle today, man.
Oh, God
We just
rest his soul.
Man, that was all our uncle, man. That was all Frankie
Right.
Beverly. That
Frankie
was all
Beverly,
our uncle.
yeah, Frankie
That was all
Beverly.
our uncle,
Ooh,
man.
that was
For
Frankie
sure.
Beverly Amaze was one of my first concerts. Yeah, that my
Man,
parents brought me to.
the
I'm looking. I gotta look through
cookout king.
I gotta look through the photos I have. That's why I haven't posted anything, because I have a photo of my dad and Frankie Beverly somewhere. I just don't know
That's
where it is.
dope. That's
Right.
dope.
Yeah. Shout out to Alien Matt Kitty in the chat. Very talented rapper from the Bay, and she is the daughter of
Man,
the late great Conut.
very,
Very
very
talented
talented,
MC out of the
man.
Bay.
Man,
I
I'm
got
rooting
nothing
for
but love
her.
for Alien Matt Kitty. She's fun to
Man,
work with too.
man, she is a star, man. She just, it's just wait, she just waiting to happen. Her turn about to
Yeah,
come though.
her time's
She is
definitely
so
gonna come.
fucking creative and talented, man. I love that
Yeah.
girl.
If we can facilitate anything for her to get in position to succeed, let us know now. Like, for real.
For real, for real. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen for sure.
And to put it in perspective, oh, shout out to the 92 kid who just joined. I don't know you yet, but I'm 92 as well. I'm a Mac Miller baby. A Lesson to Be Learned dropped in 1992.
Right.
Wow.
So, what was the lesson to be learned?
It was just, man, just really just stuff around the hood. Just, basically everything we kind of, that's why I kind of had Herm on the album. Just speaking in the beginning before we start talking a bunch of bullshit and nonsense and talking about smoking and partying, just don't get influenced by it. You know what I mean? And because that's the lesson to be learned. Just be your own self. Be true to yourself, be you, and don't worry about trying to, um, just please anybody. You know what I mean? Just do you. Whether you a square, whether you gonna, because I mean, right now you look at it right now, man. Everybody that went to school and graduated, because you and Joe was talking about, what grade he graduated. Man, I dropped out in ninth grade, lost the eye, lost a whole hella homies. Thank God music saved me. You know what I mean? Because it was ugly. All the dudes who were squares, who dudes was laughing at, who was going to school, they the ones right now who living. Who got
Man,
careers, who got pensions, who got 401ks. And all the
man,
niggas who was selling dope and was popping back then ain't popping now. You know what I mean? Some of them strung out on dope and the TL. Some of them ain't really got shit to fall back on. And all them squares they was laughing at is the ones who giving out jobs. They running to them right now to get a job. So it's just all about being yourself, man. You gonna learn a hard lesson.
There
Or
you
you gonna
go.
take your ass somewhere and get in the construction business or something like that? Because most of the ex-dope dealers and all that shit, most of them motherfuckers got a shovel in their hand or somewhere, a hammer and doing something because they ain't got no GED, they ain't got no fucking diploma, they ain't got no type of degrees, so it's hard. So you got to go take up some type of trade or labor job or something. It's a few that done got successful doing it. Shout out to the ones who really done went through and pushed through and they real entrepreneurs now. They own it. Like my brother, one of them. He owned his own construction company, a heavy equipment operating company where he taking big contracts now. And he one of the ones went back to school later on. My brother Toto, who, man, I salute him for just going back and getting his diploma. He did go to school and kind of made it through, got credits here and there to where he was able to go back and get a diploma. But I was so far off because I fucked up in the ninth grade and dropped out and just with the gang banging, going to juvenile, in and out of juvenile, in and out. Ended up going to Postal Street Academy, going to rap, going to Sunshine. I went to so many fucking high schools, man, where they just kicked me out of all of them. I had to go to log cabin and damn near finish. Got out, went to fucking I forgot that fucking little college I ended up going to try to get some credits, but that shit didn't work. But music, like I said, saved me. And man, I was blessed to be able to take that turn and make the right decisions at the right time to where I was able to, buy a house, at 21, 22 years old. I got smart and listened to my manager too, because sometimes motherfuckers be stubborn and don't want to listen.
Yeah.
I started listening to the dudes, the square dudes. My manager was a straight square tone, you know what I mean? And bro, you got to do this. You start working on your credit. Go to fucking Crescent Jewelers, get you a little watch, finance it, and that's what I did. I went and got me a little watch for about 200-300. Went to fucking OG Mervin's, went to Emporiums. I started getting me little credit cards here and
Damn,
there,
I forgot
and
about
started,
Mervin's.
yeah, Montgomery Wards,
Yeah.
and Emporiums. I started getting little credit cards, just off the Crescent Jewelers. First stop I did, went there and got me a little, watch, and from there, was off to the races though. So
The most
yeah, that's
like
what the
uncle
lesson was to
to
be learned.
the most uncle to nephew advice I'm getting out of you right now, Black C, is just the simple be yourself. Because when you talk about, well, the dope boys are now either incarcerated or working construction
Dead.
and
Yeah.
things like that. You say in the squares or running the companies like, hey, I'm a square. I graduated from college, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I may not at soon to be 32. I may not be where I want to be in life, where I want to be financially. But it's like when you stay 10 toes down with what you want to do and stay true to yourself and don't try to be
Right.
anything you're not and perfect the success will
Exactly.
follow.
Exactly. There you go. You know what I
Right.
mean? But right now, at least you got the know-how, and you know how to, you know how to go and talk and speak, and you
Uh-oh. Black Sea freeze
Black.
up.
you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, you back.
yeah.
You
You're
back.
good. You're
Okay,
back.
You
yeah,
back.
yeah, man. People calling my phone. But yeah, but that's all it is. It's just all about going for, what you want, man, and just having the know-how, man, and like you say, you got the credentials, you got the diploma, you went to college and whatnot. You could use that to get, where you want to get. A lot of places, man, they ain't not fucking with you if you don't got a diploma.
I
So,
mean, to the testimony of my journey as a music journalist, and I don't want to talk about me for too long, but like when I first started this, I went to Hampton in Virginia.
mm,
One of the
mm-hmm,
other biggest black colleges in the country.
mm-hmm,
But senior year, I'm sitting in my dorm room and I'm interviewing another very dope rapper from San Francisco by the name of Ramirez. And now to
right,
see like where his career has gone, and he's sold out shows around the world and got, over 300 monthly listeners on Spotify is like, man, I feel like, the Palm has been much of a launch pad for a lot of dope artists to first tell their stories at. So like,
We
right.
appreciate
I
you.
don't want all the clout and the
Yeah.
fame. It's just like I want to continue what I'm doing. To
Yeah, you
is
want
bottom
to
line is getting
do.
to know people.
Yeah,
We
you wanna you
appreciate you.
wanna you wanna do what you want to do, and it ain't nothing
Yeah,
like when you getting paid doing what you want to do because you're not working. You know what I
there you
mean?
go.
It's like you never working when you're doing what you love, man. And I can't believe I get paid going to these clubs and getting on stage, grabbing the microphone, getting the checks I get, getting the residual income from the music I put in. Man, this a blessing,
And
and
outside
I
of
feel like I'm getting
California,
over it.
Black. Oh, sorry to interrupt, but like outside of California and outside of the West Coast, where are some
Mm-hmm.
places where you've been pleasantly surprised to receive love?
The Midwest really. That was early on. Like we when we first started getting booked out in Detroit, like really all through Michigan, Flint,
Okay,
yeah, Pontiac, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, Detroit, all them, man, they embraced us heavily. And also, Missouri, Kansas
yeah,
City, that's, I would say both of those are like our cousin states, you know what I mean? And
right. Kansas City and the Bay have always had an interesting relationship, and I'm
yeah.
always kind of curious, with the demise of Mac Dre, being in Kansas City. I'm always curious how that vibe is between KC and the Bay, which I have love for both. And me and
Mm-hmm.
DJ Fresh spoke on this, where there is always love for both. He's got partners down there that he's worked with, but Kansas City you've brought up a couple times, so I'm kind of glad to know that the Bay gets love in KC. Oh, did his phone die? Where'd he go?
Yeah, I think he dropped off.
All
Shit,
right,
send him another, yeah,
yeah,
send him
send
another invite.
him another invite. He'll come right back. Invite. There you go. Uh, Um. All right, there. Getting back to this Black Sea, which we never left.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's live, man.
Okay. Cool. You got a joint with Andre Nickatina on there. I need to know what it's like working with him.
On which album? Which one are you talking about?
Let's see. It
You talking about his
is.
project or you talking about mine?
Andre Nickatina,
The last one we did was with the one with me, him, and San Quinn.
Right. Yeah. How is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
And
it
that.
is. How it
Yeah.
is.
How it
Yeah.
is.
We shot the video to that.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That came out. That was on my Ruthless album where I had a bunch of features on that album. But man, no, that's my boy, man. You know, anytime he called me, I'm there. You know, and he just returned the favor. When we first came out, when we was hot early on, and we jumped out on tour. Jason asked us, Jason Blaine, he the owner of Independent Records. He asked us if we wanted to if we would let Dre Dog at the time, that was his name. Will we let Dre Dog ride with us on a promo tour? We was going all up and down from Seattle, Portland, all the way
Mm,
down through Southern California. We was like, yeah, man, like hell yeah. We had met him at the Stone. We had a couple shows at the Stone. We met him over there. We hit it off. Was cool, chopping it up. We end up showing up for his Av video and all the shit. So when he like, man, y'all want to let Dre Dog ride with you? Like, man, hell yeah, that's our folks. So we was when we was the hottest at the time. He was still trying to build on his, and he got out there. And one thing about him, when he got out there with us, he kept going back to them same places, just building and building and building, man. And he never stopped. When we went through our turmoil, losing Mr. C, falling out with Jason Blank, he stayed out there. He kept going, and it shows. It paid off for him right now. So now he'll swoop me up. He doing a tour. Black, come get a couple stops. Come stop in. Come grab a couple of these checks. Come pop out on about 5 or 6 of these stops. And it's love. And every time he call me, I'm there, man. I got major love
right.
for Andre, for Nicky,
There
man.
you
Can't
go.
nobody tell me nothing bad about him at
Shout out to
all.
Nikki. Definitely up there amongst my favorite MCs from the Bay Area.
Man,
Killer
most
Whale
deaf,
has a special place in my heart for sure.
for sure.
Um, did you have any interactions with Tupac?
Nah, I never met him.
Never
Yeah,
met
I
Pac.
was there when he got into it with the Filmo dudes at the Stone. I was
Mm.
outside, but I never met him personally though. I
Okay.
never did. I wish I did have a chance to link up with him,
Rest in peace
but never
to
did.
Pac for sure. I want to know how did you react to Wiz Khalifa's freestyle over "Don't Give Me No Bammer Weed"?
I loved it. A lot of the fans, didn't like it, but shit, I loved it, man.
Right.
Anytime, especially somebody of that caliber, grab one of your songs and want to take it to the next level. I enjoyed it. A lot of people thought that he fucked it up, but I appreciate it. I liked it. It was
Yeah.
one of them things that was dope to me. So,
I
but
always
the
thought that even though Wiz is from Pittsburgh, I always thought that
hmm
he definitely has a West Coast appreciation, and I
yeah,
think that's why
Yeah.
he's been
yeah.
out here for so long and been embraced by artists and producers from out here.
Yeah, it'd have been different if he didn't pay homage and didn't reach out. He just stole it and just did his thing. But he did everything right. He got at me. He handled the business with the estate of Marvin Gaye, which we never did. We just took the shit. But he handled that. He took care of Marvin Gaye and them estate. He took care of me and Mr. C family. So, everybody getting a little portion and everybody happy. So what, man, I mean, he did it right. He blessed us and I'm not even mad at it. And the song is dope to me, whether the RBL fans like it or not. They got our music. They can put on ours if they
and
don't like
since
that.
and since Larry June is the mutual person in between you and Wiz, have you and Wiz ever met face to face?
Nah, nah,
Really?
nah. Larry never even put that together. That was something that happened just on our own. I don't even think Larry was dealing with him at the time that I know of when he did that. I know he was running around with Burner at the time, but that was just something that just happened when he got at me through Twitter and was like, "I want to use a song." He didn't even ask Burner. Like, "Oh man,
Right.
RBL, could you hook it up?" He got at me himself directly. And
Yeah.
we went from there.
Yeah.
hmm
I don't know. Pittsburgh always had a little California bounce to it. I don't know if it's the whole like Taylor gang and Chuck Taylor thing to it, or the fact that Dr. Dre came out there in the '90s to sign artists like Mailman, and they had a
Right.
hitman out there as well.
Right.
But yeah, I've always noticed that shit for sure. And you know how Mac Miller opened up for people under the stairs back in the day too. So
hmm
shout out to the Berg though. Um, okay. Uh, Joe Fresco, I want to ask, man, on that Make America Player Again Volume 2, which I had the pleasure of reviewing, definitely one of my favorite submission joints of the year. Writing that Heartbreak Hotel, man, that's some expert lyricism that you put together, some expert storytelling, man. What inspired that song?
Growing up, just a tale of, you know, when I say like, I'm trying to make America player again, like that's inspired by my son. It's not. Oh man, I got 4, 5 bitches, man. I'm a player now because I know a nigga right now. He gets bitches, but But if you try to fuck with one of his, he'll kill you. He's not a player. He's not a player. I know niggas that got one bitch and they do player ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't tell me IT's not a player. He's married, but you can't because his demeanor, how he speaks, how he carries himself. Like I'm trying to get back to that type of shit about real playerism, not just I got a bunch of hoes on a player. No, you just a fucking a handsome nigga that got the bitches like. That don't make you a player. And so coming up young, fucking with broads, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it where broads was setting niggas up. Like that's a tale as old as time. Most people who fuck with females can attest to broads, especially in a city where, you know, everybody's close knit. It's bound to happen sooner or later. You're gonna fuck with a broad, and she's fucking with a nigga that don't like you. You get what I'm saying? And so the story is about a nigga that was fucking with this broad. He was actually a good kid, 2-parent household, was doing the right thing, but he was fucking with a broad that was fucking with another nigga that didn't like him. They get in an argument. She tells the nigga that don't like him, "Oh, this nigga talking shit about you." This nigga's a good kid. This nigga's a crash out, and tragedy happens over and the common denominator was a broad, man. And I've seen it happen to me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can all can attest to it, man. Maybe you don't know somebody who died, but somebody who might have got fucked up, beat up, set up, anything over these broads, man.
So it's
Like,
not quite a true. So it's not quite a true story, but it's you've seen it so many times that
it's
it's like a true to life story.
yeah, man. Yeah, like I always say, rap stands for real. For
Rhythm
we're
and
just reporters.
poetry.
Yeah, and we're reporters. We report what's going on. Events and shit like that. So I'm just reporting on shit I've seen, shit I've done. But that story per se wasn't like it wasn't like I know somebody who actually got killed over abroad. But I've seen it. I've seen it happen so many times. Niggas and got jumped. Niggas and jumped other niggas. Niggas and got into it at the club and shit all over abroad.
There you go. The show. Who did y'all get to do the DJ intro on y'all project, man? I thought that was real fly.
DJ Dab, man, that's
DJ
my
Dab.
partner.
Okay.
Yeah, DJ Dab, man, we gonna keep his identity under wraps. We don't want, man, that's Joe Fresco ass, man. Joe
DJ Dab.
Fresco is
Okay.
DJ Dab. We just tweaked his voice, man. That's
Yeah.
he put the tweak to it, but Joe Fresco, when he get in that motherfucking vibe and get in that, man, he get that DJ Dab voice, man, he get the popping that shit.
Hell yeah. No, no,
He
no,
get
because
the
I love,
popping that
nigga,
shit.
we gotta do a whole fucking tape of Pimpin' Palm and DJ Dab. It's only right. Like,
Right.
it's only right at this point, bro. I
Yeah,
told,
we was gonna keep it hidden, but man, we gotta
uh,
let him know, man.
leak
We
that shit
gotta
on
let him know.
PALMCAST.
Joe popping that shit when he get
Joe
in the
popping
DJ
that
dab,
shit.
bro. Yeah.
Late night radio on your dial.
Man, you don't understand. When Death Row came out, I was in my impressionable years. I was in middle school.
Right.
When we got Dr. Dre's Chronic. So we was on the bus and like, oh man, you hear he's fucking the girl in the motherfucking doctor's office. Oh man, you hear these motherfuckers banging on, you know what I'm saying? Dre. So we was real hyped. So I used to crank call girls, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, call them late night. What's going on? Who's this Joe? Nah, this DJ Easy Dick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
We're
Right.
kicking
saying?
out the jack off house. This is
And
DJ Easy Dick.
exactly. And I used to study the
Exactly.
tone of his voice and all that old type of shit. So I just wanted to try it on our album, because our album is an ode to that old West Coast sound.
It
And so I
sure
was like,
is.
that would kind of be dope. And you know what's crazy? We was we was actually gonna get Pimpin' Delmon. We was talking to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know, the nigga who did all the poems on there, the pen a pen and a hot California sun. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Okay.
nigga who used to do all
On
the
the
poems
death row
on
shit.
Dogtown.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right.
We talked to him, man, and
Right
unfortunately he
before
passed
he
away.
passed away. Yeah,
He
right
Oh,
before
passed
he
away.
passed away.
wow.
He was gonna be.
Incredible.
We was trying to get him on the Ruthless album.
Rest in peace. Okay. Yeah. Who tell me about Cadence. You have Cadence on here doing a couple hooks
That's
on the Ruthless album.
that's my blood cousin. That's my first cousin.
Okay.
So yeah, he's you know, he was on like 106 and Park back in the day and shit. Like he's been singing forever. And you know, I was telling him, I was like, man, you know, I'm finna fuck with Black C, man. You need to, you know, stay tapped in with me. And as we're working on our album, you know, me and Black was going through the songs, and I was like, well, I could get my cousin to see if he could see what he sounded like, because Black was the, you know, the nayer for the song. So I was like, well, you know, this one might sound cool with a singer. This one might sound cool. He's like, okay, do your thing, send it back to me, and
Yeah,
yeah, it just
Cadence
worked
blew me
out.
away.
Yeah.
Cadence is
Yeah.
raw. I'm
Cadence really
fucking in
showed up
love
with
with Cadence.
Cadence. Like, yeah,
Yeah, he got that
exactly.
cadence, and he was trying to change his name too. You want to be Mach 5? Hell no, we
Hell
sticking with
I
no.
like that. No,
Cadence is way,
I like
way
Kate.
harder.
One word like Madonna.
Man,
It's just cleaner. Yeah.
cadence is raw.
Yeah.
You're like, man, yeah, man, you can be Mach 5 online, man.
Okay. I gotta
Be
ask, and
cadence on these tapes and CDs and songs, man.
I
Yeah.
know we got to wrap here soon. Black Sea, I do gotta ask,
Uh-huh.
what the a bluebird on my shoulder, can I
Mm.
kill it? One of my favorite
Yeah,
songs, but I don't
yeah,
know what the hell that is in reference to, man. Break
man.
it on
That's
down.
the boys in blue,
There
man.
you
That's
go, the
all it
cops.
was. That's
There's
the
a bluebird
cops,
on my shoulder.
man.
Can I kill it?
Yeah, that was the
Damn,
boys
that's
in
hard.
blue. They used to
Yeah,
be like, man, they come the boys in blue. So
yeah,
that's where that come from. It was one of our fuck the police type songs. Like you said, paying homage to NWA. Like always, it was just one of those things. You got the ghetto bird, the helicopter and all that, the boys in blue. So that's all it really was. And then when we start working on it, I was just like, kind of like, it's just having a chip on your shoulder. Anything that just fuck with you,
yeah,
your baby mama, whatever. So we kind of try to switch it up so we didn't just be too graphic about police. But Mr. C was like, fuck that. That's why I hit both his verses. He really talking about he stuck with the police.
Yeah.
I was all over the place on mine. I was like, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
Try to
But he
I was
like,
at.
stick to.
nah. With them high tech
I gotta
boots.
show.
He
Yeah,
like, man, he started going,
yeah.
I
yeah,
There's this TikTok I did to Bluebird a couple years ago. I got to show you this once we hop out of here, man. It's a little funny. You know how I get down. Got to give you your flowers before we get up out of here, Black Sea. Though one of my all-time favorite songs, just to hop in the whip and run some errands to, is "Meet Me in Frisco." Easily
Oh
an
yeah,
all-time
man,
favorite.
man.
Easily.
smooth,
Just
smooth,
go get your day started, get a
yeah,
couple errands done. All the
yeah,
trap niggas gonna feel this. Yeah.
yeah. We should have shot that video. We was
Why
Man,
supposed
didn't
to,
you?
man.
I love that
I
Man,
just
song.
told,
I was
I
sweating
actually just told
him
her 6
about
months
that.
ago. I was like, they
Man,
need
I've
a
been
video for
sweating
that.
him.
Yes.
Man, I've been sweating his ass about that for the longest. Oh, we gonna
Yeah.
shoot it. Next week we gonna do it. No, no, when I come back next month, it just never
Yeah.
happened, man.
Scheduling. No, that's one of the ones that really got me through COVID. I must say.
Yeah,
Mm,
man,
that was a tough
that
one.
motherfucker hot to this
To
day.
this
Is
That was a
that
tough
and
one.
instant classic and organic work.
organic work need fucking videos. I might just
Organic
go
work's my
check.
like when I'm walking to the gym. Like, yeah.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly, man.
Cool. Well, musically, what next is on the way for you guys? Joe Fresco, you want to start it off?
Um, I'm just, I'll probably drop a couple singles. Just try to keep the juices flowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop a couple singles and um, shit, probably get back in album mode sometime next year.
Yeah. Because that Make America Player Again too is still dancing on our palates. By the way, that joint,
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it this morning. That do, 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 just another day. No. Oh man, I forgot to ask you what it's like working with rapper Big Pooh.
Uh, well, it was more just we didn't get a chance to like work. It was like a paid feature. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I hit
Okay.
him up. and you know, we just handled the business. But you know, I'm a huge
I'm a
Little Brother fan. I thought
huge
it'd be
Little Brother fan.
right, so I thought it'd be something different, you know, and so
Yeah.
it worked out.
And he got love for the West Coast too. So
Yeah, he did his thing.
yeah, he did his thing on there. Okay. No, Murderers Row is the one. When you have the video, man, let me know. I'm coming up there to the Bay Area. I
Yeah,
still
that's
Yeah,
dope.
like we're working on